basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Hello and welcome. I'm Srinivasan and this is Talking Sense with Srini. We're discussing Israel-Iran tensions in the Middle East as US President Donald J. Trump is right now in the Netherlands for the NATO summit, where he said that the truce between Israel and Iran was in effect on Tuesday after expressing deep frustration with both sides for violating the agreement that he brokered. Joining me to discuss further is our editor-in-chief, Mr. S. Srinivasan. So wonderful to have you back here in Chennai again.
Yeah, nice speaking to you once again.
Thank you. So, we're discussing Israel-Iran tensions. So, the United States President Donald Trump is right now in the Netherlands for the NATO summit there. Right now there is a truce between Israel and Iran. It's a US brokered, a ceasefire there. Right now, both countries are holding on to that. But do you still think that this is the end of the conflict, or you see that there's more to come?
See, we can say from the past, looking at this, whether it's end of the conflict. As of now, it seems the war is over.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides have called truce, and they have to enforce it because Trump is very insisting. He's very insisting on, and you could see from the statement which he made today. He was actually he clearly said, "I'm very angry with Israel, and also with Iran, but more angry with Israel, and they should stop bombing." Right, yeah. So therefore, I think this particular war is over. But whether West Asia situation has changed completely forever, whether there won't be any more confrontation, that we'll have to wait and see. Because let's just rewind and go back to the issue. Where did it all start? It started with Hamas firing lots of rockets on 7th of October 2023 into Israel.
That's right.
And that day, they breached the Iron Dome, and a lot of Israelis died. And that's where Israel got, wild, and it wanted to it retaliated. And then it took on Hamas. And you know what has happened in Gaza.
That's right.
Today, as of now, it's estimated about 50,000 people have lost their lives. And Israel did not stop with that. It also wanted to go into the root of all this. So in a way, therefore, they took on Hamas. They wanted to completely cut them down to size. They also took on Hezbollahs. And these two were also seen as proxies of Iran. And Hamas was, in Gaza, it was part of the, it was part of the politics they were doing from Gaza. And Hezbollahs were operating. They are even in power in Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
So they're part of that. So they were also kind of eliminated. Israel made, at least they cut them down to size. After that, Israel thought of going after Iran because these two were seen as proxies. And that's why they decided to attack Iran. They initially said that we are bombing Iran. And then they said that we want to take away their capability, any capability which they are, which they could have to make nuclear weapons.
That's right.
This has been the kind of a statement which Benjamin Netanyahu has been making since he came to power in 2009.
That's right.
In 2012, in fact, he went to
United
Nations and even said that, they are only weeks away from making a bomb.
That's right.
And they have enriched more than what is required. So look, after 10 years, still he made the same charge and went and attacked. In a way that initially none of us knew whether US was acting in tandem. All of us know that Israel is a client state of America. States. But whether United States was acting in tandem or Israel was acting on its own was everybody's guesswork initially. But then later it was clear when US also decided to step in. Trump being Trump, he kept everything close to his chest, and then suddenly he said, I need 2 weeks to decide on that, and suddenly next day you saw bombers going there, B-2 bombers going and taking on all the nuclear sites in Iran, including one in Fordo, which they think has stored enriched uranium and also has a capability which could create weapons grade uranium.
But say as you said, so United States, sends that 30,000 pound, bunker busters to dismantle the Iran's nuclear infrastructure. And they've been really concerned about Iran building nuclear weapons. Do you think that particular move is going to hamper Iran's, sort of stop Iran's nuclear ambitions? No?
Yeah. I'll come to that question. Before, let me complete the answer to the first question which you said. Since the whole situation in West Asia very much depends on what happens in Palestine. The whole trouble started from there.
Okay.
That's why the 12-day war also happened. So unless they are able to find some kind of a solution to Palestine, this is not going to go away.
Okay.
Because you can't wish away people living in Gaza. And therefore, in some other form, this issue will come up unless a solution is found. I think the best solution is a two-state solution, which perhaps they are far away from achieving this. So that's the answer to your first question. Second, whether Iran has been completely decapacitated, whether like Trump claims that they have completely neutralized any possibility of
building new
weapons. Well, their own intelligence agencies, as of this morning, the reports have suggested to Mr. Trump that no, it hasn't got completely destroyed. And nobody actually know whether the bombs, the specialized bombs, went in that far to destroy their facility completely, the Fordo facility especially. What if there are some other strategic observers who are questioning, what if some of the enriched uranium has already been taken away and kept somewhere else by Iran? That's also a possibility. Iran would have very well known that the attack is going to come, and they could have taken away some of the enriched uranium to some other place. For bomb grade, you need nearly 97-98% of enrichment. I think that's what I learned. So whether they have done that level, we don't know. But there is a possibility they might have removed some part of it. Whether they had done it, we don't know. There's no answer to this question whether this attempts, this bombing of all these facilities have ended all this, decapacitated forever. We don't know. So therefore, these questions are still open. So it really depends, because after the end of the 12-day war, everybody has claimed victory. Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has claimed victory. Benjamin Netanyahu has claimed victory. Trump has also claimed victory. Right. So everybody is victorious. So, but really, we don't know whether Iran has been completely stopped on its tracks, which we'll have to wait and see. Unless somebody goes, like IAEA, or somebody is allowed to go and examine and certify that, look, there is no proliferation further, and then these facilities don't exist. But who's going to do that? Whether Iran will even allow them. So these are the questions wide open.
But it's but the question is, why is the United States even concerned about Iran building nuclear weapons? Isn't it the sovereign right of that particular country to build its own nuclear weapons for its own protection?
Well, I would put it differently. I won't say that it's sovereign right to make a nuclear weapon. Yes, it's a sovereign right of every country to defend its own borders, its own geographical borders. And whatever is important for their security environment, they will try to do that, whether somebody prevents or not. What you've asked is a much larger question. There are, if you look at how many countries have actually gone nuclear and declared it, there are actually 5 countries, which is US, Russia, France, England, China, and India. These 5-6 countries.
Pakistan as well.
Now, they initially they went, and then it was joined by Pakistan. But there are a number of others who have the capability, but they decided not to go for that, like Germany, like Japan, like even Brazil. They have decided they are not going to go for that as a policy. They've decided to keep nuclear as an option, not an option. There are other countries which we don't know, like Israel is said to have, like North Korea is said to have. See, why everybody can't make it? Because of the complexity, technology involved, complexity of doing that, enrichment process, the raw material, and also, it's expensive. So not all countries can afford. And second, they would only do when they need there is some strategic need.
Mm-hmm.
Iran here probably is insisting on this because Iran wants to emerge as some kind of power in its own region. It wants to emerge as regional power, which is as opposed to Saudi Arabia on the other side. So it's actually a regional game, and that's the reason probably. And countries would decide on whether they want to go nuclear or not, depending on all these issues, and also whether they face any threat. So it's a very complex question for me to answer here.
Okay, so Trump also interestingly called Iran the bully of the Middle East. I mean, it's a very usual way in which he speaks, but you still think it's right to sort of pin down Iran and term it the bully state in the Middle East.
See, well, these are terminologies used. So somebody who's sitting in Iran will say that, look, Trump is trying to demonize us.
Uh-huh.
So that's one way of looking at it. That's how the people on the other side would feel.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not something new. There was another term called axis of evil, which was coined by George W. Bush. He said this for Iran, Iraq, and he said these countries these are terror factories. They can send terrorists to other countries. So these kind of coinages have been happening. So that coinage still exists. But now the axis of evil change, the definition change, and then it was Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas. They did a counter one saying, no, we are axis of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want these countries to put pressure on us, and we are going to resist what they call Israel is a Zionist and Americans as imperialist. So this is the counter axis of resistance, their own thing. And Trump has now coined his word because he obviously want to describe Iran in a manner which he sees fit. That's what he has done. That's why he has named it like that.
If you look at the Brent crude, it's trading at $70 per barrel, and still there are concerns about oil prices soaring high. If Iran were to sort of block the Strait of Hormuz, how do you see it impacting the Indian economy? The oil minister had allayed fears already.
I think all these fears are well till last week. Once the war is, there is a ceasefire announced. I think all these things have eased out now, and we should now see a certain price stability. We should look forward to. I don't know really what will happen because I'm not the one who's watching that market very carefully. But the thing here is that India if your question is how it would affect us, India over a period of time has begun to diversify its procurement of crude.
Energy, yeah.
We are 85% dependent on imports. We don't have much crude of our own, so we are heavily dependent. Now we are also raising it from, also getting it from Russia, whole lot of oil, and Iran is one of our main sources. But the bigger question is LPG. I mean, I read news reports saying that 85% of our LPG requirements comes to that route. Yeah, Strait of Hormuz. So it obviously will affect us if there is anything, if there is a blockade or any such thing. But now it appears that it's unlikely. So I think the situation should ease off now. And as of now, we haven't seen anything like this. Even when the war was on, there was intense speculation that Iran could, put a blockade on Strait of Hormuz. It didn't happen. In fact, the way Iran dealt with this whole confrontation is, if you look at it, it's very different from the way people perceived. Israelis went and bombed them. They were ruling the sky as if, and Iran couldn't put any air resistance. They didn't have anything. They didn't have an effective air force or a shield to protect themselves. Americans went in, bombed at will, came back. And what did Iran do? In turn, they sent their missiles, and a dozen missiles landed in Qatar. So, which was actually given a notice in advance. In fact, Iran told them that we are sending those missiles. A notice was given, and nothing much happened because I think Qatari, where there was an American base, it was already vacated.
Mhm.
So what it appears is that the kind of noises or the statements which Iran made, it really didn't pan out on the ground the way as they claimed. It didn't. So I think as of now, Strait of Hormuz or anything, not an issue right now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wonderful talking to you after a pretty long time. Thank you.
Thank you.